Larry, aka Gary Hillock, was born on Christmas Day in 1969 to Israeli parents in Jerusalem, Israel. Some say an ironic date. Not us, but some say that. I'm not implying that we would say that being born on Christmas Day in Jerusalem was ironic. I'm just saying that some people say that. Never mind. On with the story. Born to Jewish parents Abel and Abigail Hillock, Larry, aka Gary Hillock's parents, were delighted to have a young son they fondly referred to as Little Geppetto. Little Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, was raised in a small suburb of Jerusalem and began to show interest in modern dance and sculpting at a very early age. His parents were delighted to have such an interesting little fellow in their meek existence. But the serene life that Abel and Abigail had grown to love would soon end as Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, entered his teenage years. His hobbies of the past would give rise to the beginning of the fall of Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock. While spreading his joy of sculpture and modern dance throughout the land, he met and instantly hit it off with a pork sausage salesman from Toledo, Ohio, known only as Armando, aka the Pork Sausage King of Toledo. Why the Pork Sausage King of Toledo was in Israel is currently unknown. I mean, was there a big market for pork in Israel? Probably not. As Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, grew, his interesting hobbies slowly gave way to his addiction to salt-cured meats and sausages. Armando, aka the Pork Sausage King of Toledo, enabling Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, eventually to the dark side of the pork industry and to the underbelly of what would become his expulsion from his natural-born country, Israel. With Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto's parents completely distraught with the newfound fondness of salt-cured meats and sausages that had engulfed little Geppetto, they had no choice but to expel Larry to the streets of Jerusalem to fend for himself. With no resources and no income, Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto, had no choice but to become intertwined with the pork sausage black market of Israel. When authorities found Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, selling pork chops beside the Wailing Wall, Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, was politely asked to leave Israel and was put on a plane for the United States. Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, landed in New York City with no resources and no sausage. Larry had no choice but to dance, and dance he did. With nothing more than a pair of Daisy Duke shorts and a tank top, Larry set the New York City nightlife on fire with his modern dance. Homeless and hungry, Larry danced. On a cool November evening, a Broadway producer, taking a gingerly stroll through the meat industry, noticed little Larry, aka Gary or Geppetto Hillock, dancing his heart out with his Daisy Dukes and his much-worn tank top. The producer embraced Larry and took him to Broadway to star in his own one-man show, Israeli Sausages. And the rest is history.